In this step, I show you how to use and how to create static captions and live captions. The first steps are the same for both. What is a caption? We use captions to let people know what the image is above it. If we were doing captions by hand, we would create a text box with the type tool with shortcut letter T. We would create our text box and we would write our caption. We'd then format the text to match our document. In this case, it would be Open Sans. We would probably use Open Sans Regular, and then we would scale it to fit. And every single one just like that. InDesign gives you a great tool, especially if you're trying to give the file information on every single image. It gives you a great tool called live captions and static captions. These captions are based on the metadata of the image that you've placed in the image box. And what that means is basically the file name, if it's a photograph, the ISO information, if it's an illustration, it could be the CMYK or RGB, so the color space, information like that. All of that can be accessed through Alt-O in order to reach my object menu, captions, and then caption setup. In our case, I want every single caption to have the artist name, file name. Under metadata, remember how I was saying you can have the file name, you can have the size of the image, you can have color space or the profile, the dimensions. If you're a photographer, it would probably interest you because it's got ISO speeds and all kinds of other information. All the metadata, if you wanted to include it, you could. It would probably take several lines. But in our case, I just want the file name. And then after that, how about a bullet character? And then I click here to add more lines. The size, oh, that's interesting. No, probably the dimensions. Let's do dimensions. And let's do color space. It's going to be on different lines, and I don't think I need any text afterward. All right, let's see how this turns out. So then we select the thing we want to caption, go to Object, go to Captions, and we're going to generate a live caption. So it has artist, the file name, it includes the extension, it has the dimensions of the image, not perfectly square as I had previously thought, and the color space. And it broke it all into 3 lines just like we selected it. I don't know if I like those 3 lines, so I'm going to undo that and I'm going to reset up. I only want the clients to know the file name. So we go back to the Objects menu and we delete those lines and reset it up. And here's the difference. If you want a live layout, it will change depending on whatever is grouped together with it. A static caption will stay the same no matter what is grouped with it. When I set it up, it groups it. It automatically groups the caption with the image. So if you look carefully, when I select it, it's got those dashed lines that shows us they're grouped together. I want to convert this into a static caption. So I've double-clicked, I've selected only the caption, I go to Object, I go to Convert to Static Caption, and then it will let me edit the look of this caption. And I use the control panel to help me adjust the font and the size of the font to fit it. Let me show you how I would use the eyedropper tool to copy this style that we just created with this font and apply it to a nearby caption. So I chose my eyedropper tool and I have highlighted a section of my text, and you see how the T comes up, eyedropper T. And then I'm going to go onto this section of text and highlight that. And it should, and it did, it should use my original formatting and copy it onto the other caption. And it did, great. So let's escape from that. Go back to our direct selection tool. Now I don't want to do that whole object caption 40 times. Let me zoom out so you can see. So I have deleted all the captions that we created in order to show you how you don't have to do each one. So once you've set up your captions, and it was under Objects, Captions, Caption Setup, and we know the space between our image and the box that we created, we can just highlight all the images that we want to create a caption for, and it will generate the captions for us. Oops, gotta delete these two. So I've selected all of my images on this page. Then I pressed Object, I pressed Captions, Generate Live Caption. And it's created a caption for each one of the images, and it's already pre-grouped because that was one of the settings that we chose. Pretty cool, huh? And then the next step would be to edit the font and export our file, which is what I show you in the next step. Open Sans 8 point. And we can just select each caption, double click on it, and press Open Sans, a character style, and apply it to each one. And that's it. You've got your live captions. All right, next step is our final step, exporting.